Hello everyone, I'm glad to have you with me today. We're going to be chatting about some new makeup. I've compiled it here in this shiny bag. I've got some new stuff from ColourPop and Too Faced and Morphe and Benefit. It's just kind of random and none of it really happened to be complexion related, so that part of my look is already done. If you're hopping on and you're like, wow Em, you look really even today, that's because of the makeup. So what I put on today so far is this e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint. I hadn't reached for this in a while and I do like this product. It's the one with the mineral SPF 50. I have 6 light cool. And then I use this Revlon Glimmer Brightening Concealer. This is in the shade 125. I do like this concealer. I do find it to be very brightening. They call it glimmer. There's not actual glimmer in it, but it's a good tone. And this is the only concealer I have on, and I do feel like it effectively brightened up my under eyes. I set that with some Coty Airspun, and then I also set elsewhere on my face lightly with some CoverGirl Clean Invisible Powder. That's in the shade Classic Beige. I was asked recently, does that still have the Noxzema smell? It does not, actually. Needing a sip of coffee. We are on spring break currently. Spring break from school. We're not really like vacationing. We do have a cheer competition over the weekend, but we have been having some fun. It's been tough because Biddy has been down with the same thing Belle had, you know, a couple weeks ago, Rhett had last week, and it really hit Biddy hard. She's never been this sick in her life. It's flu B. She's through the fever, but what I've noticed with her and also with Belle was just the sheer exhaustion after having a fever for a period of a couple days. Biddy is normally the type of person who it's like nothing really keeps her down energy-wise, and this has really gotten her. So I'm hoping today, as I shoot this on Thursday, maybe she'll be able to get a little energy up again. It's just hard when you're a household and one person gets something, they get it. Anyways, we're gonna talk about this. Too Faced is kind of re-promoting Chocolate Soleil, it seems. I got a PR package with a bunch of pencils. The new thing are these pencils that can be kind of multitaskers. You'll see those coming into the video in a little bit. But in that package, they also have this Chocolate Soleil. This is in the Chocolate Toffee shade, which I'd never tried this. If that's something they had out before, let me know. Or is Chocolate Toffee new? It's matte blurring bronzer, they say. And it looks like this on the inside. And I've been loving this, you guys. Like, I love the appearance on my skin. I like the way it blends. Still got that chocolatey scent in there. So I'm going to be using this today, so I can really use some bronzing. Like, I really got a decent amount on my brush just then, and it's just like it wants to blend so nicely. But in the package they had this, they had the contouring stick, which I actually used my contour stick in a Shop My Stash video. I think it was just last week. But then the real brand new thing are these pencils that we'll be talking about. They're kind of trying to do a makeup forever type thing with them, I think. I'm doing some contouring. Anymore, I've really been trying to be mindful of like kind of connecting my contour up in here with basically what's been going on the forehead, you know. I use a lot of bronzers, but this one just seems to really be blending exceptionally well, and I appreciate it. I like the tone too. I'm sure a lot of you remember when like Chocolate Soleil was new. I can remember what that packaging looked like once upon a time, you know? And like everybody was just going on and on about the scent and how it was just such a great bronzer. And it's just something, I know Too Faced has had Chocolate Soleil in their line for some time, but this specific shade, this formula, it's just feeling very new to me. Now Benefit's doing a ton of new stuff blush-wise. I feel like they're really known for their boxed blushes, right? They do a great job of giving each one of those like their own artwork on the box, their own kind of identity, you know what I mean? And now they've come out with a bunch of different blushes, some that look like this. This is coming in PR as well, the fact that I've been able to try these. I'm in the process of trying all the different shades, but they've got these little like doe foot applicator matte blushes. You can see one of these in action on a short video, so I'll link to that below if you missed it. Really full pigment, very much little goes a long way, but easy to blend, easy to work into the skin, and gives a pretty finished kind of matte look. But additionally, at the same time they're launching those, they've got like these sticks, these really interesting, they're calling them juice sticks, and they truly are like a very dewy, juicy blush formula. And one of those that I've been playing with so far is this one called Jam, and this was beautiful. When I used this on the cheeks, I loved the look. I even was tempted to put a little bit on the lips. They call this shade Rich Berry, and I love it. I'm going to try out one of the other ones in this video because I really want you to see how it looks coming out of the package for the first time. It looks glassy when you take it out. And I love the outer sticks. They're so fun. You do have a secondary cap. And then I want you to see what a brand new one looks like. Like, look at that glass-like shine that's coming off of this. It practically looks like, is that water or something? They call it a juice stick. It does have a certain moisture level to it. So this one's called Figgy, and I'm gonna just like draw it on my cheeks. It's going on with like this sheer wash of color and a very like wet feeling glide. And I'm gonna dab over that with my Sephora 56. It gives like a stain in a stick kind of effect. You know what I mean? The way the color is very much there, but it goes on in a totally different way from their other products that feel kind of similar to a Rare Beauty liquid blush, those matte ones. But look how I don't struggle to blend. My cheeks don't feel outrageous with moisture just after this amount put on. But doesn't that make you think of a stain? And with the other one that I tried, the staying power was really good, so it just makes me think of stain in a stick. It's almost as though the color develops just a little bit more on the cheeks after you put it on. Like, I don't know if this is real or if I'm imagining it, but it seems like after you swipe it, the color just becomes a little more intense. But I like this. This shade is pretty. I don't know that I like it better than the Rich Berry one. Oh, it's right up there with it. There's something so natural about that flush, you know? And if you're asking like, what's the finish? Because when you look up close at one of these, you might think, does that have shimmer in it? And I don't really feel like it does. I'm getting like a pure color, and see, after I swatch it on my finger, it's almost like it's stained onto my finger somewhat. There's so much moisture in these though, I would say hold on to that secondary cap, because there's probably a reason they put that on there. Some of the things that they said about it in the little handout were juicy, dewy flush, sheer buildable payoff. I get the buildable thing, but it has a staining element. They say water resistant and sweat proof and humidity proof. So it's interesting that something is coming out and being delivered to your skin in such a juicy way, but turning out to be something so long wear. Hydrating and cooling feel, can confirm that. The scent, there's just a very like light scent in it. It's hardly noticeable. You really got to be looking for it. But yeah, I thought you guys might be interested in those. That's a very intriguing product, and I've got more shades to try. And the packaging is cute on everything. Stay tuned for future videos, future short form content where I can show some more of these going on. That really is a nice quick way for me to do that. Like, for example, in my Dollar Tree video, there was a blush I couldn't show, but then I could, you know, the next day do a quick video showing that thing going on. I'm kind of appreciating the short content for those reasons. Morphe has this limited edition range that's out now. Very like shiny chrome vibes. I haven't been huge on the little eyeshadow trios just because they don't feel super complete to me, but they've got some glosses, some kind of combo eye products, and another thing that's part of that are these sticks, these little Dreamlight sticks. This one's called Over Ice. Again, brands are not wanting their products to dry out on us, it seems. But several little highlighter sticks, and this is interesting because it feels like jelly. Do you see it move and wiggle a little bit? Like, very interesting formula there. Almost feels on the surface like the Benefit, but there is a bounce and a movement to this, a wiggle to it. And I'm just going to take this shade that's definitely like their lightest and brightest one, and I'm going to dab this in as a highlight today. Beautiful, and really this is giving a naturally kind of wet look glow. They have other shades that seem like there might be more bronze in them, different tones. But I've played with this one before, and I kind of like how it makes your skin look just a little bit juicier than it is actually. But that's a fun little texture in there, a really airtight extra cap, and then a cute little stick. So I like that. I don't get like, oh my gosh, this is a super essential highlighter to my life type of vibe, but I enjoy it. But one of the things I like best might have been their multi-finish face trio here, the Cheek Thrills. The shade is Yacht Day. I like what's going on in here. They've got this cream, actually two creams that are under that window. One can be like kind of a shimmery topper, bronzy thing, and then there's a powder blush. blush additionally down the bottom. And then there's your cream blush up top. I like the richness in those, and they feel very summertime to me. But I'm gonna do my brows real quick, and then we've got some new eyeshadow to talk about. Brows are done. I use Benefit Precisely my brow pencil shade 4, and I use my Super Lock from Maybelline. That's the tinted one. Deep brown is my shade in that. So I also put on my eye primer, e.l.f. Lock It Down eye primer, and this is what we have from ColourPop. They've put out like kind of a small new collection. It involves this silver lining palette and these lip colors, I guess, to kind of go with it. The palette is as cool as it gets. So my cool shadow lovers, something for you. Here's a look at what came with that. You might be thinking like, okay, so are these the lip colors you wear with the silver look? I believe these lip colors will kind of highlight a natural lip color while the eyes just stay super duper cool. So let's create a look. You know, I'm always excited about any new eyeshadow palettes. I think this one might be where we start. As far as the mattes go though, matte, matte, and matte, and this one appears matte with a little sparkle. You know how we see that often. Little sparkle that I don't think is gonna really pack on. But let's just see if that shade is even dark enough to start building in the crease. It's just showing barely. It's not for lack of pigment, it's just a little lighter tone than I was expecting. But I might take that up a little higher. It's interesting because so often, like, I will pull in, you know, some cool tones here and there, but sometimes that's also mixed with warmth. And this palette, it's just going to be 100% in those grayish tones. Okay, I think we're going to need to go a step deeper in this palette to really get something going in the crease. So let's go to Glass Half Full right here, one of our mattes. And I'm just going to start blending that into my crease. Seeing it? This is working out well in the crease, but I can tell like there's a lot of potential intensity with this one. So I'm being careful. I'm putting it on the tip of my brush and I'm just kind of working it around. I'm just really blending it as far as it can go. I want it to sort of reach up. I'm thinking of maybe doing a little combo. This, little tap into that, and continuing to blend these shades up and out because, you know, I noticed in the picture there's a real ethereal looking haze. Not that I have to recreate that, but you know what I mean? I want to be real blended out with it. Those two blended together are great for smoothing things out. Caking it a little higher, just the combo of shades. Cleaning off my brush, I'd like to go into this shade right here called Optimistic. This is our lightest matte. And then that will be what really extends past everything I've been doing here. Just our little crease and beyond setup. This is a palette where it could be dark and smoky, it could be really light and ethereal, and we have shimmers in here that I think are just really gonna sing, you know? Lots of potential here for bright shine. I'm gonna work in some of the black called New Era. Morphe M303 flat brush. There was some excess to tap off there, which I would be careful about that. Definitely tap it off before it falls down to your cheeks in application. But I'm picturing this taking up a good portion of my lid and then kind of coming inward with some of the brightness. This shade here looks to be kind of like iridescent. I think that might be fun. Really rich. Just be careful, look. Tapping off some excess in that shade, but it's applying pretty evenly. Again, we're thinking about patting it on, but we can also flip our brush and reach the crease with this color too. And then that crease brush can come back in, work it around. I just dipped into a tiny bit of this shade just to help me kind of smooth out the darkness. When you have a gradient of colors, use them, you know? That can help you blend. I'm impressed that this has all gone down without any fallout on my cheeks. Now you could have that if you were being a bit more reckless with the color and didn't tap off the excess. But if you're willing to be a little bit careful, it doesn't have to turn into a messy look. What I would like to see is some of this shade called Bright Side. It looks like a little more sheer, but also has kind of a shift to it. I'd like to see some of that come in from the inside and come over the black, just kind of like twinkle over it, if you know what I mean. Ooh, that's pretty. I like what you're doing. There's something so pretty about that lightness just kind of scattering, you know, like just seeing it diffuse over the black, giving a real like light in the dark, night sky, twinkling stars kind of feeling here. Fun. And if we want more of an intense foiled thing, we come over here to Lucky Stars. That could hit the inner corner maybe. Actually, your intense foiled one is this 999 in the middle. That one's going to give you the most brightness. Lucky Stars is kind of like sheer shimmer without the shift, but I'm still kind of working it in. So what do you think? Is this your cup of tea? Are you interested in a palette that really gives you just the black and white of it all? I think it's fun, and it's just interesting how it has more range really than you might realize, just because it can be very light and airy if you want it to be, just with the shades they've selected. Now there's a couple down here that look deeper. We've got like a charcoal, that's really pretty. And then this one, two richer shades. I could see this one becoming almost like a one shadow look. Then we're going to talk about these liners, and maybe there's one that I can mix into this look, but it's from Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Multi-Use Sculpting and Defining Pencils. The deepest one, well, that might be the second deepest. It almost looks plummy here, like a really rich brown. That one's called Chocolate Lava. There's one that seems darker and cooler than that even. This is called Chocolate Espresso. There's the Chocolate Espresso. Maybe that'll be the one that I can work in as eyeliner. We've got Chocolate Souffle looking like that on the end. That one's just looking like the most classic brown ever, but it's like these could be lips, they could be eyes. These remaining few make you think more like lip color possibilities. What's this light one doing called Milk Chocolate? Oh, okay, that's like soft warm brown. I see that more as a lip liner. I like this Chocolate Caramel definitely as a lip color. That's right there. I think these probably have some dupes in my collection. Similar to that one I think is going to be Chocolate Mousse. By now I'll have swatched all of them. Chocolate Mousse has a little more tan in it, whereas the Chocolate Caramel, a little more richness and rosiness. But these are kind of making me think of the Makeup Forever Artist Color Pencils, that range that has like the Anywhere Caffeine, Wherever Walnut. It's like, do you want to use these on eyes or lips? Do what you want to do. I'm checking for scent. There might be a tiny scent, but it's hard to pick up on. I'm taking this one called Chocolate Espresso, which looks like a cool, like brown black, and I might just take this across my upper lash line. It's really coming off like black. The glide is good, like, I mean, no real complaints. It's just classic little pencils. There's a creaminess to the feel. There's not any struggle to make it transfer down. Now I am having a little struggle with it as I try to go over all that intense shimmer on the inner part of my lid. But I might smudge some of this shade just down here on the outer part of my lower lash line too. I don't think I'm going to work in any of the other shades because there's just so much brown, really. It's a primarily brown range, and I'm not really looking for that in my eye look today. But several of those would be nice for just like a neutral look accent, but they're smudgeable. I'm going to throw on some mascara real quick. Just finished up the eye. Only things I added were the Benefit Bad Gal Bang on the top and the e.l.f. Lash Extender on the lower lashes. I don't know what's going on over here. It's like maybe I didn't get a very good curl, but Bad Gal Bang does not usually drop my curl. It's been very good about locking it in, but that's okay. I thought before I work in any of those Too Faced shades as lip liners, I thought you might just want to see what these look like, each one of them on their own. So they're the So Juicy Plumping Glossy Lip Oils. Again, they're part of this silver lining collection from ColourPop. This lightest one here is called Shine On Babe. Scent is slightly minty. And this is a formula I like. I've enjoyed some of these that I've tried from ColourPop. Very nude. If you're going light on the lips, that does seem to pair so well with the eye. These do have a little stretch to them, not with the thickness of like a Lawless lip gloss, but be ready for that to happen to you. Here's a swatch just so you can see. It's sheer color, but it definitely does like hang together and show evenly on the lips, even for its sheerness. Next deepest one is probably this. This one's called Everything's Good. I like the cooling feel. I like the slight mintiness with these. This one's coming in with the Your Lips But Better kind of feel. Applicator really, why did it not pick up much? There we go. I might have swiped it on the side a little. That one's bringing in a little rosiness. I'll give you a swatch as well. So much shine, it's hard to show. It's right there. So that's the first one I had on. This one, a little more depth, a little more like kind of rosy nude action here. It brings out my cheeks a little more, I think, when I see that shade on my lips. So we started here, we went to this one. Now we're gonna pop on this one. This third is called Glow Through It, and it's seeming kind of mauve-ish. Yep, true mauve look with this one. That might be my favorite. And that's swatched right there. You can see just a little more depth going on. Again, I'm liking the feel. I'm liking the texture of these, which I had experienced the So Juicy texture before, and it's nice. Almost a buxom type of cooling sensation. Now we're gonna swipe that away real quick because I just want you to see one of these Too Faced liners in action. And then maybe we can pop a gloss on top for a finishing touch. I feel like I'm gonna get those all over my pants, so I better wipe off the swatches. I'm gonna use some of the chocolate caramel so you can see this one. This is my favorite. You can probably tell why I like this one so much. There's kind of a deep rose, almost a hint of brick element in this, a little bit of brown. I'm kind of smushing it around on my lips some, but it goes on with ease. Really comparable, actually, to the texture of those Makeup Forever lip liners. And when I first used this on my lips, it wore very well. But what I think I will do is grab the lightest one and add this on top. It kind of immediately cooled things down. Pretty. The one thing I don't love about this packaging though is the shape of this is almost a little big to come through, and then it's also going to be somewhat drippy, so you have to be so careful coming out or else the drip kind of comes out around the side. But that is my look today, friends. I think everything came together really beautifully. My absolute favorite thing, I think, is this stick. I like the idea, and again, they didn't really claim it was a stain, but it seems like a stain in a stick to me. And I'm very excited to move on and try some of the other colors that we have, but this shade is super pretty, and look at the great intensity we have here with it. I mean, this was not topped off with any other blush. This went over my foundation and my, powder steps, and everything's still looking even, but I just love that level of flush, and it was easy to blend. Just a cool product there. So that was fun. Loving this chocolate toffee, chocolate soleil bronzer. Those are a couple top ones. Silver lining palette, quality wise, I would have to give it 2 thumbs up because everything applied really nicely. I had no struggles. I like my finished look. This comes back to the way we talk so often about different eye palettes. Are you looking for something for a specific look, a now and then kind of look? Is this going to support your daily look? Are you only interested in buying a palette if you think it can play into daily use type of status for you? I'm seeing my eyes this way and I'm thinking maybe I should wear these types of tones more because I'm loving it. I'm loving the drama, but yet it's just drama created through grays and blacks and a little silver. I'd love to hear what you think. Quality is great, but it's just more a question of, are you into these tones? Do you think you'll use that a lot? And I'm into these Too Faced liners. I think Too Faced just felt like they needed to do something like this. They're all very wearable shades, the types of shades that, yeah, it could be an eyeliner, could be a lip liner. That being said, there's just so many good options in the drugstore too for quality liners. Like, I have no doubt that the shade I put on today, that chocolate caramel, with 15 minutes up here, I could probably find a shade or 2 in my collection that are basically dupes for that type of color. So it's not like this range is your one and only source for kind of neutral liners, but that's just what they're doing now, and I'm letting you know. Also, I like the pairing here too. If you were needing some ideas for what might look good with a really cool eye, I actually thought each one of these, when I put them on their own, looked good paired with this eye look. And if you're looking within your own collection, think of shades that don't go too warm, and also these don't have a lot of pink in them or red in them either, and they just kind of were in a nice neutral place to just balance the face well, I thought. Anyway, friends, thanks for watching. I hope the info was useful. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.